Layers in Photoshop. Photoshop provides you a feature to combine multiple elements to make one file with the help of layers. A layer can be defined as one image stacked on top of another to form a complete image. When you open a file in Photoshop, the first layer by default is the background layer with white color. This layer is locked and protected, which means you cannot change the stacking order, blending mode, or opacity of this layer. However, you can convert this layer into a regular layer by double-clicking on the lock icon and then make changes in it. In Photoshop, you can work on each layer independently and create the desired effect. You can also change the stacking order and can link the layers to work on them simultaneously. When working with an image, it is advisable to use a new layer above it to apply filters or for retouching tools. If you are unhappy with the effect, you can simply delete the layer without making any change in the original image. All the layers are visible in the Layers panel. Creating a new layer. In order to create a new layer, perform the following steps. Step 1. Click on the Layer menu from the application bar. A drop-down menu appears. Step 2. Select the New option from the drop-down menu. A sub-menu appears. Step 3. Select the Layer option from the sub-menu. Step 4. The New Layer dialog box appears. Type a name for the layer in the name box and click on the OK button. The new layer will appear above the background layer in the Layers panel. By default, they are named as Layer 1, Layer 2, and so on. Layers panel allows you to change the visibility of a layer to on and off by clicking on the eye icon next to the layer name. If you see the eye icon, it means the layer visibility is on. Clicking on the eye again will make the layer invisible. Rename a layer by double-clicking on the layer name. Change the order of the layers by clicking and dragging the layer up or down to the new position in the Layers panel. Create a new layer by clicking on the Create a New Layer button at the bottom of the Layers panel. Make a duplicate layer by right-clicking on the layer name and selecting the Duplicate Layer option. The Duplicate Layer dialog box appears. Type the name of the new layer. By default, it is the name of the copied layer with Copy attached to the name of layer. Add a style to a layer by clicking on the Add a Layer Style button. Filter layers on the basis of pixel layers, adjustment layers, type layers, shape layers, and smart objects. Delete a layer by clicking on the Delete Layer button. Create a new fill or adjustment layer by clicking on the Create New Fill or Adjustment Layer button. Create a layer group by combining multiple layers. Painting tools in Photoshop. Magic Eraser Tool. The Magic Eraser tool functions like the Paint Bucket tool in reverse. It can be used to erase all the similar colored pixels and make them transparent. You will be able to see the images of the bottom layers. Perform the following steps to use the Magic Eraser tool. Step 1. Open the image in Photoshop from which you want to erase some part. Step 2. Select the Magic Eraser tool from the Tools panel. Step 3. Alter the settings in the options bar. Tolerance box contains the value which determines how much area the eraser will cover with one click. Anti-alias reduces the hardness of the edges erased. Contiguous, if selected, sticks to only one color. If you do not want to affect the visible layers, then the sample all layers should be unchecked. Opacity slider controls the hardness or strength of the eraser. Step 4. Click on the portion of the image which you want to delete. The area that contains similar color pixels is removed. Retouching tools. Retouching tools help you to add or remove objects from an image. Let's learn about some retouching tool of Photoshop. Spot Healing Brush Tool. One of the magical features of Photoshop is to remove or repair the spots, scratches, or even objects from an image with the help of Spot Healing Brush Tool. It is also known as Texture Replacement Tool. It blends the wrong or bad texture of one area in an image with the good or fine texture area of the same image. The result of the spot removal may vary depending on the complexity of the image. It can be used to remove the acne or skin blemishes and scars completely from an image. Follow the below steps to use the Spot Healing Brush Tool. Step 1. Open the image to be corrected and select the Spot Healing Brush Tool from the Tools panel. Step 2. Create a new layer above the image layer to add the modifications. Rename the layer Touch Up to identify it easily. You can hide the layer to see the effect of the Spot Healing Brush Tool anytime. Step 3. Adjust the size and hardness of the brush by clicking on the slider. Set the mode to normal. Proximity Match will look at everything in the vicinity and decide what texture should be inside the brush. Create Texture will add texture from the surrounding area. Content Aware Fill does, but in a particular area only. Check on Sample All Layer if working with two layers only. One is the original image and other one is a new layer for editing. Step 4. Click on a spot or drag over an object you want to remove. This is, however, applicable only for small areas. Healing Brush Tool. Healing Brush Tool helps you to clone areas from an image and blend the pixels from the sampled area with the target area. It allows the user to choose a particular source to blend, which the Spot Healing Brush Tool does not. The steps to use the Healing Brush Tool are: Step 1. Open the image in Photoshop which needs your attention and select the Healing Brush Tool from the Tools panel. Step 2. Create a new layer above image layer to add the modifications. Rename the layer Touch Up to identify it easily. Step 3. Adjust the size of the brush by clicking on the slider and set Sample to Current and Below or All Layers so it will pull the pixels from the base layer. Otherwise, you will just be healing a blank layer. Step 4. Then you need to set a source point from which to heal the affected area. Hold down the Alt key and click on the source point. Step 5. Click and drag the cursor over the damaged areas to be healed. Patch Tool. Patch Tool helps you to replace large objects or items from your image or photo. If you have a sample area or source area, it is quite easy to use this tool. You can select using any of the selection tools and then use the patch tool to just replace that selection. The steps to use the patch tool are: Step 1. Open the image in Photoshop in which you want to patch some details or insert some extra objects and select the patch tool from the Tools panel. Step 2. Draw an area around your object, say A, which you want to replace. You can use any selection tools to make the selection. The area from which you want to replace is B. Step 3. Just click and drag A area over B area. You will see a preview of the image as you drag it. Step 4. When you drop the area A over the area B, Photoshop does the magic of blending the pixels from the source B or the destination area A perfectly. Deselect by pressing Ctrl+D. It is so simple, but you might not get an accurate result every time. You may have to practice a few times. Please ensure that you are working on a duplicate background layer or using a separate empty layer, not your original background layer. Content-Aware Move Tool. Content-Aware Move Tool is one of the best retouching tools that allows you to move an object in an image to a different location, and Photoshop automatically takes care of the area left behind. It also helps to duplicate, expand, rotate, and contract objects in an image. The steps to use the Content-Aware Move tool are: Step 1. Open an image in which you need to move an object from one place to another. Step 2. Select the Content-Aware Move tool from the Tools panel. Step 3. Make a rough selection around the object. See the given image. While selecting, make sure that the selection should not be very close to the edge of the object. Step 4. Click and drag the object to the new location and drop it. Photoshop automatically manages the blank area by replacing it with the surrounding or background area and merging the object in the new area. Step 5. Press Ctrl+D to deselect the selection. The Mode property in Options bar contains two options: Move and Extend. Move and Extend. Move is used to seamlessly move the objects in the photos. Extend is used to copy the object, scale and rotate the object, expand and contract the object using new layers. Adaptation helps to control the flexibility to blend the image. Selecting very loose will allow more control over blending in the image, while selecting very strict will give hard line around the selection. Click the checkbox of Sample All Layers if working with one image. At times, this tool may not give a perfect result, but usually Content-Aware Move tool wonderfully blends the object into the new area. Red Eye tool. You must have seen red pupils in color photographs of the eyes of human and animals. This usually happens when the photo is taken using a flashlight. The light of the flash is reflected from the retina and the camera captures this as a red eye. The Red Eye tool in Photoshop allows us to remove this red eye. The steps to use the Red Eye tool are given below. Step 1. Open the image you want to edit and duplicate the image to a new layer by pressing Ctrl+J. Step 2. Select the Red Eye tool from the Tools panel. Step 3. Click on the red pupil and Photoshop will automatically select the affected area. Usually, it gets selected with one click, but if not, keep clicking until the red eye is corrected. Clone Stamp tool. Clone Stamp tool helps to copy pixels from one area and replicate them onto another area or image by using different brushes. Each stroke of the tool creates a duplicate of the sampled point in the image. Perform these steps to use the Clone Stamp tool. Step 1. Open two image files in Photoshop. Step 2. Select the Clone Stamp tool from the Tools panel. Step 3. Select a brush and change its size and hardness in the Brush Preset Picker for better control of the area. Step 4. Press Alt key and click on the area of your image that you want to copy. Step 5. Click or drag along the area where you want the clone to appear. While you drag, Photoshop provides a continuous reference to the area that you are cloning. Try to clone your entire object in one go so that it does not break or get fragmented. Pattern Stamp Tool. Pattern Stamp Tool is different from Clone Stamp Tool. It helps you to create a pattern. The customized patterns can be saved and loaded using Pattern Panel, which appears in the options bar of the Pattern Stamp tool and the Paint Bucket tool. These saved patterns can also be applied as background in various projects. To use the available patterns in Photoshop, open a document and select the Pattern Stamp tool. Then select a brush and choose your pattern from the options bar. Click and drag on the canvas. The pattern gets repeated wherever you click. Perform these steps to use the Pattern Stamp tool. Step 1. Open an image which you want to turn into a handmade painting. Step 2. Select the Edit, Define Pattern option from the application bar. The Pattern Name dialog box opens. Step 3. Enter a name for the pattern in the Pattern Name dialog box and click on the OK button. Step 4. To deselect the original selection, choose the Select, go to Deselect from the application bar or press the Ctrl+D key from the keyboard. Step 5. Select the Pattern Stamp tool from the Tools panel and set the values in the options bar according to your requirement. Step 6. Click and drag onto the screen and use the newly created pattern. Blur, Sharpen and Smudge tool. Blur tool makes the image hazy or softens the pixel of an image. It helps to highlight the main object in the image. Follow these steps to apply blur effect. Step 1. Open the image on which you want to apply the blur effect and select the Blur tool from the Tools panel. Step 2. To increase or decrease the blur effect, use the Strength settings in the options bar. Step 3. Click and drag over the area which you want to blur. Sharpen tool increases the contrast of the pixels at the edges, thus increasing the focus on the image. Follow these steps to increase the contrast of the pixels. Step 1. Open the image and select the Sharpen tool from the Tools panel. Step 2. Keep the value of strength under 25% to get a subtle effect. When working with Sharpen tool, use the Zoom tool over the areas where you want to apply the tools. Step 3. Click and drag over the area to increase the sharpness. Smudge tool. Smudge tool mixes and blends the color of an area in the image. Smudge tool pushes pixels around the canvas. It looks like you have dragged your finger through wet paint. Perform the following steps to use the Smudge tool. Step 1. Open an image and select the Smudge tool from the Tools panel. Step 2. To get a more controlled effect, reduce the strength settings in the options bar. Step 3. Check the finger painting checkbox in options bar to use foreground color for smudging. Step 4. Add a new layer to smudge without spoiling the original image. Dodge, Burn and Sponge tool. Dodge tool increases the exposure or brightness of photos. It is a great tool to lighten faces hiding in shadows. You can also apply subtle highlights that make the subject stand out from the background. Perform the below steps to use the Dodge tool. Step 1. Open the image on which you want to increase brightness and select the Dodge tool from the Tools panel. Step 2. Select the brush size and softness from the Options bar. Step 3. Control the intensity of the effect from Range settings. Step 4. Click and drag over the part of image you want to lighten. Burn tool darkens the pixels without affecting the colors. By using this tool, you can create greater contrast by deepening the shadows in certain areas of a photo. Photos taken in the daylight often end up having white patches and dark shadows. Burn tool can darken the white patches, while Dodge tool can be used to lighten up shadowy faces. Follow the below steps to use the Burn tool. Step 1. Open the image and select the Burn tool from the Tools panel. Step 2. Adjust the tool properties in the Options bar. Step 3. Click and drag over the image to darken the white patches. Sponge tool reduces the richness or intensity of the colors in the areas you paint. It can also perform the reverse by making colors richer and more vibrant. Follow the below steps to use the Sponge tool. Step 1. Open the image and select the Sponge tool from the Tools panel. Step 2. Choose the mode. Go to Saturate in Options bar. Saturate increases the intensity of a color. Desaturate decreases the intensity of a color. Step 3. Click and drag over the image to create the effect. Drawing tools. You will now learn about some drawing tools. Pen tool. Pen tool creates straight lines or curves for selection or to design a shape. The shape can then be filled with colors. The pen tool creates a vector path when used. It creates paths and complex shapes. Drawing with pen tool. Perform the below steps to draw a straight path segment. Step 1. Create a new document in Photoshop or open an existing image. Step 2. Select the pen tool from the Tools panel and set the mode of the pen tool to Path from the Options bar. Step 3. Click on a point to start the path. Step 4. Press the Shift key and click on the next point to draw a straight path. Step 5. To close the shape, return to the first point and click once when the small circle appears. Perform the below steps to draw a curved path segment. Step 1. Click to create the second point and drag with the pen tool before you release the mouse button. You will see handles appear. These handles determine the acuteness of the curve and its direction. Step 2. Click on the small square at the end of the handle line and drag the mouse around to adjust the handles. Step 3. When you are satisfied with the shape of the curve, release the mouse button. Shape tools. The shape tools also use Photoshop vector technology. Click and hold on the rectangle tool in the Tools panel and you will see various shape tools like rectangle tool, rounded rectangle tool, ellipse tool, polygon tool, line tool, custom shape tool. By selecting these tools, you can draw them as regular path and as a shape layer. To draw shapes, follow the below steps. Step 1. Select the desired shape tool from the Tools panel. Step 2. Drag on the stage to draw the shape. Custom shapes. One of the easiest way to add an object to an image is to use the custom shapes in Photoshop, such as music notes, hearts, and flowers. The custom shape tool allows you to draw custom shapes. Follow the below steps to use Draw Custom Shapes. Step 1. Create a new Photoshop document and select the Custom Shape tool from the Tools panel. Step 2. Click on the Shape Picker in the Options bar. You will see lots of icons of custom shapes. Step 3. Choose any icon and drag a marquee on the canvas. You can also change the color from the Options bar. Navigation Tools. Photoshop allows you to modify view of an image using the navigation tools. Let's learn about them. Hand tool. Hand tool allows you to scroll the image on the canvas. Holding down the spacebar key also helps to achieve the same result. By double-clicking the hand tool icon in the Tools panel, the image will fit to the screen. It is useful when you are zoomed in the image and working with lasso tool for perfect selection. Rotate View tool. Rotate View tool has a keyboard shortcut R. It rotates the whole canvas with the image and not just the image. A compass appears in the center. As soon as you click on the Rotate View tool, the mouse pointer changes into Rotate View icon. You can click and drag to rotate the canvas clockwise or anti-clockwise. A red marker at the top of the compass points to the top of the image. Zoom tool. Zoom tool allows you to zoom into certain areas to get a closer view of the image. Choose View, go to Zoom In, or View, go to Zoom Out from the application bar. To use the keyboard shortcut, hold Ctrl and press plus to zoom in and Ctrl and minus to zoom out. Image menu. Image menu in the application bar has various options related to color, size and view of an image. Following table describes the different options that you can use to change the look of your image. Mode. It allows you to change the color mode of an image. It provides various color modes such as grayscale, RGB, red, green, blue, CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, black, lap color, duotone, bitmap, multi-channel, and indexed. You can use CMYK, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black color mode, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black color mode for images in a full color print brochure, and use RGB, red, green, blue color mode for images in web or email to reduce file size. Adjustments. It allows you to access various tools for changing the brightness, contrast, levels, exposure, vibrance, hue or saturation, and color balance of an image. Auto tone. It automatically adjusts the blank point and white point in an image. Auto contrast. It adjusts image contrast automatically. Auto color. It adjusts the contrast and color of an image. Image size. It allows you to adjust the size of a photo of currently active layer on the canvas. Canvas size. It allows you to change the width and height of the whole working area according to your requirement. Rotate image. It allows you to rotate the whole canvas. Few rotation degrees are already provided like 180 degree, 90 degree clockwise or anti-clockwise, etc. Crop. It allows you to cut extra or unwanted part from the image and focuses on the key areas. Trim. It removes empty solid colored area around your image. If the image has any transparent area, that can also be removed with this option. Reveal all. It expands the canvas as large as necessary to reveal full image when an image being moved beyond the canvas boundary. Duplicate. It allows you to create a duplicate copy of your current file or document. Apply image. It allows you to apply a blend mode to the layer. It opens a dialog box with source and target tabs. From the Source tab, you can choose a layer on which blend modes will be applied. From the Target tab, you can select different blend modes to apply. Calculate. It uses only a single grayscale channel. It creates a new channel or a black and white document or an active selection, but never a color file. Variables. It allows you to create templates that you can use to produce several versions of the same standard style automatically. Trap. It allows you to add few cushion pixels at the border of objects in your photos. This controls how much color will overlap when the objects intersect during printing. Layer as a smart object. You're painting or applying filters directly to the pixels. After working for almost an hour, you feel that you are not happy with the results. You cannot undo the changes made to the original image. For saving the pixels, you can put them inside a container. Smart Object works like a container to an image. When you make a layer of a smart object, you will be able to perform non-destructive editing to the layer. Smart objects preserve an image's source content. There are two ways to convert a layer into smart object. They are: click on the layer option in the application bar. Click on the smart objects and select Convert to Smart Object, or right-click on the layer you want to edit. From the pop-up menu, select Convert to Smart Object. A smart object icon appears in the lower right of the layer's preview thumbnail. It enables you to make unlimited changes without losing the quality of an image.